What is up, heroes? This is Midnight Zero, and welcome back to Let's Play 99 Blind. In the last episode, we started to explore the kitchen, we learned a bit about hexadecimals, and things started to get pretty cool, arguably too cool, right as I decided to end it. And in this episode, we're hopefully going to escape from this freezer. I don't really know exactly what's going on with it, if it was maybe like a trap set up by Zero, some with the pipe, or if this is really just truly a chance event. But regardless, here we are, right? So, what can we do? There's some frozen meat up there. Looks like pork. Okay. Huh? What's this? It looks like a tag or something. Chunk of pork. What's on the tag, though? We can probably search it, right? Junpei-kun, is there a slip of paper in that meat? I think there's something written on here, but I can't read it like this. If we try and pull it out, it'll probably rip. You need to defrost that. Don't think we're going to be doing that in this room. Gotcha. So this is just an item to have for later, probably. Okay, what else we got? Anything else up there? Everything's frozen in here. It doesn't look like there's anything else interesting. Good to know. The shelves are covered with frozen food. Nothing special about that. Anything over on these ones? No? Okay. Doesn't seem like I can interact with much there. Let's take a look at this. Oh, we can open it straight away. That's surprising. What's this up here? Dry ice. Okay. That's good to know, I guess. Or, we should probably search that, right?
Dry ice って二酸化炭素が固体になったものだったよな、確か。
Yep, dry ice is just frozen carbon dioxide, right?
そうだな。
Yeah, it is.
だいたい何度くらいから気体になるんだろう。
I wonder how warm it has to get for it to turn back into gas again.
さあ、そんなこと聞いてどうすんだよ。
Heck if I know. How's that gonna help us anyway? I know it's definitely something below room temperature, so I wouldn't worry about it much, but...
ここから出るのに何か役に立つんじゃないかと思ってさ。
Well, I figured we might be able to use it to get out of here. Do you have anything particular in mind?
およそマイナス79度です。
Carbon dioxide sublimation point is negative 109 degrees.
それよりも温度が高ければ気体に、低ければ固体になります。
Any warmer than that, and it'll turn into a gas. Any lower, and it becomes a solid.
お前、よくそんなこと知ってるな。
How do you know that? He's like, wow, you know that pretty well.
こう見えても、私、雑学王ですから。
Despite my looks, I'm the the queen of random knowledge. Oh, that's pretty neat. Looks bad to mess up when you're showing off. Argomov? Something about being really cold, I'd imagine. Oh, you're so cold, your mouth's going numb, and probably shivering, teeth chattering, all that stuff. Yep, less white. You're just doing that on purpose, aren't you? And now she gives that smile. She's like, well, maybe. Do you think it's cute, Junpei-kun? Come on, guys. Don't you think that's kind of weird? I wonder why it doesn't turn into a liquid first. I wish I could explain it, but it's just how it works. There's something... He wanted it out of the freezer now. It did seem... What? I wonder why it doesn't turn into a liquid first, and now I'm being prompted with... He wanted out of the freezer now, or it did seem rather odd. How is this even relevant to... Why is this even relevant to the statement Sansa just said? Okay, well, sure, it did seem rather odd. It is kind of weird.
なりますよ。
But it can turn into a liquid.
高い圧力を加えれば、二酸化炭素も液体になります。
I don't know if you guys have had your chemistry classes, but with the different curves and like the triple point and everything, it's like at atmospheric pressure, you're really only going to be dealing with solid and gas. But if you get enough pressure going, you get into that range where it can actually turn liquid. Carbon dioxide turns to liquid if you put it under high enough pressure.
でも蒸圧の1気圧の下では。
But at 1 atmosphere, normal air pressure, it won't turn into a liquid, right?
はい。消化といって、固体からすぐに気体になってしまいます。
That's right, instead of melting, it'll do what's called sublimating and change immediately from a solid state to a gaseous one. See, that is weird. I mean, It's just different from how most things interact at 1 atmosphere of pressure. If the norm were a lot higher pressure, might not be the case.
水は0度から100度の間で液体になるのに。
What is a liquid between 32 degrees and 212 degrees?
なんで二酸化炭素はならねえんだよ。
So why isn't that the case for carbon
0
dioxide?
度以上でも液体にはならない氷ってあるみたいですよ。
There's a kind of ice that doesn't turn into liquid when it goes above 32 degrees.
あ
私聞いたことがあるんです。
I heard about it.
融点が36度の水が存在するって。
Its melting point is 96
融
degrees.
点が36度の水
Ice with a melting point of 96
それ
degrees?
って36度でも凍っちまう水ってことか。
You mean there's water that freezes at 96 degrees?
ええ、逆に言うと36度になるまで溶けない氷とも言えますけど。
I mean, I guess if you add stuff to the water, you could alter its what are they called again? I don't remember the right word. It's got something to do with like colloids, and regardless, you could, raise its freezing point with certain chemical alterations, but even I feel like it would have to be so excessive you could hardly call it, just water afterwards. Regardless, well, you could also look at it as ice that won't melt until it's 60, 96 degrees.
その融点が36度の水って
So what's this ice with a melting point of 96 degrees called?
アイスナインっていうみたいです。
Of course. Of course. I should have known. I heard it's called Ice 9.
アイスナイン
Ice 9?
もともとはアメリカの SF 作家が考えた架空の物質だったみたいなんですけど、
Originally, Ice 9 was a made-up substance invented by a science fiction
で
author.
も最近それが本当に存在することが発見されたらしくて。
But recently, scientists have discovered that such a substance actually exists.
待ってくれ
Wait, hold up.
そのアイスナインとやらは氷なのか水なのか
So is this thing called Ice 9 or is it water?
だから36度を超えると液体に、それ以下だと固体になる水のことですよ。
Like I said, if the ice is over 96 degrees, it'll be liquid. If it's under that, it'll solidify. So it seems like in a more colloquial sense, it's technically called ice. It's not really water, though.
私たちがよく知っている普通の水、H2O の多形態みたいなものです。
So you could think of it as a polymorph of
ダイ
H2O.
ヤモンドと黒鉛みたいな関係といえば分かってもらえるでしょうか。
Okay. Here, think of it like diamonds and graphite.
ダイヤモンドも黒鉛も両方とも炭素でできてるでしょ。
They're both made of carbon, right?
だけど結晶の構造が違うから硬さも性質も全然違っていて、
Yep. But depending on the structure of the crystallization, the hardness and structure are completely different.
要するに普通の水とアイスナインの関係もそれと似たようなものだと
So you're saying normal water and this ice 9 are like that?
そうです。
Yep.
グリセリンの結晶化の話って知ってますか？
Have you heard the story about the crystallization of glycerin?
グリセリンは発見されてから150年近くもの間、
For 150 years after the discovery of glycerin, people cooled it, warmed
冷や
it.
そうと温めようと寒い親父ギャグを連発しようと
They did all sorts of
決
things
し
to
て
it.
結晶化することはなかったそうなんです。
But whatever they did, it never crystallized.
ところが1920年代のある日、
However, one day in 1920, they
イ
like
ギリスへと輸
put it
送
under
中だ
some
った
pressure or
グリセリン
something.
は一隻の貨物船の中で偶然結晶化したらしいんです。
Some glycerin on its way to England by ship was discovered to have crystallized during the trip.
そこで世界中の科学者たちは研究のためにそのグリセリンの主結晶を分けてもらうことにしたのだそうです。
Scientists around the world wanted to research this new crystallized form of glycerin and asked for
主
seeds.
結晶とは
This is
結晶を
news to
作
me,
るた
so
め
I'm
の
all
核
ears.
となるもののことは、
Oh, a seed is a sample of the original crystallized
こ
substance.
の核さえあれば比較的容易に結晶を作ることが可能になるということでした。
With a seed crystal, further crystallization of glycerin would be
と
easy.
ころがここで驚くべき現象が発生したんです。
However, something very strange happened.
どういうわけかその核を使ったグリセリンばかりか
Not only did the glycerin encouraged by seed crystals begin to crystallize,
容器に密閉しておいたはずのグリセリンまでもが突如結晶化を始めたらしいんです。
Even the samples nearby did, even though they were tightly sealed.
しかも話はそれだけでは終わりませんでした。
And it didn't end there. Also, now that I'm looking at this, I'm noticing the formula for glycerin, I believe at least, is on the screen right now. C3H5OH3. I actually would imagine that's the formula. I would hope they would use the right one, but I don't know it
こ
off
の
the
時
top of
期
my
を
head
境
to
に
compare.
世界
But
中に存在するありとあらゆるグリセリンが
after that day, it doesn't matter where in the world it is.
17.8 度まで温度を下げさえすれば自然に結晶化するようになったというんです。
All glycerin crystallizes naturally when cooled to less than 64 degrees.
それまでは冷やそうと何をしようと決して結晶化することはなかったのに。
Is this true? I want to look into this afterwards because I don't know. This sounds like a little bit much to me. Before that day, no matter how glycerin was cooled, it refused to crystallize.
再び結晶化が生じた途端、
But once the crystallization had begun,
まるでなんて言えばいいんでしょう。
it was almost like, how do I put it?
あたかもグリセリン同士が互いにささやき合っている。
It's the morphogenetic field. I don't know why that seems like a theme of this particular part of the game. It was almost like all the glycerin in the world was
目
communicating.
には見えない何かで情報を伝え合っているかのように。
Communicating in some way that we can't
その
sense.
現象は瞬く間に世界各地へと広がっていったんです。
And now it's happening everywhere. Was honestly impressed. Was kind of annoyed. I feel like the phrasing of these is very counterintuitive. I think this is telling me how I should react.
なるほどな。面白い話だ。面白い話ではあるが。
Wow, that's pretty interesting. But it's actually really cool to hear that she knows so much of this stuff. I do think it's a little unfortunate that she almost always seems to twist it into some sort of not superstitious necessarily, but paranormal twist at the end, which is a little bit discrediting. But
それで、その話とさっきのアイスナインの話、どういう関係があるんだよ。
what does that have to do with Ice 9?
要するに今の話とアイスナインの話は同じだってことだろ。
What she's saying is that it's a lot like Ice 9. What happened, I mean.
同じって同じじゃ困るだろうが。
A lot like? That would be bad.
水が36度で凍っちまうような現象が世界各地に広まったりしたら、
If water everywhere started freezing at 96 degrees,
そんなことになったら、
man,
この世は終わりだな。
it'd be the end of the world. Yeah, probably.
まあその前に俺たちの人生の方が終わりに近づいてるっぽいけどな。
At any rate, we're not gonna have to worry about the end of the world unless we can get out of here pretty quick.
さあ、無駄話はこれで終わりだ。まさかこんなに長引くとはな。
Alright, guys, I think that's enough of that. I didn't think we'd get quite this far off topic.
話を振ったのは俺だが、もうさすがに限界なんだよ。
I mean, I know I'm kinda at fault here, but we can't be screwing around anymore.
マジで。
Seriously.
俺は確かにサンタだが、フィンランドで育ったわけじゃない。
I might go by the name Santa right now, but I didn't grow up in Iceland.
寒いのは苦手なんだ。
I hate the
と
cold.
いうわけだから翔くん、さっさと動こう。早く脱出方法を探そうぜ。
I think the irony, though, is that isn't Iceland the really green one and Greenland is the really cold one? Regardless. So let's get cracking, alright? We gotta find a way out of here.
勝手なやつだ。
Selfish, isn't he? No, I think he's just trying to survive.
アイスナインか。気にはなるけど、考えるのは後回しだな。
Ice 9 is interesting and all, but we can discuss it more once we get out of this freezer. Alright, so what else do we have going on in here? This thing is covering something. It's frozen solid. I can't flip it over. Yikes. Can we take a look at this? No good. I can't hit it hard enough to break it. Maybe it just needs more of a shock, you know? More of a shock. What about the ice through the door? Hey, Junpei, didn't you find some dry ice earlier? Yeah? There's warm water coming out of that pipe. Warm water and dry ice. Theoretically, I guess it could make an explosion of some sort. What do you think would happen if we put that stuff in a sealed container together? It would be an explosion, but like, that's awfully dangerous. I mean, I guess, what's the alternative when just doing nothing is going to lead to death? Can we go back in here? What else is in here? Oh, are none of the other things that important? Frozen chicken. Nice. We can hit up Lotus to try and make us something. Not that I'm optimistic, given her, you know, instant noodle heating skills. It's really hard. It's frozen stiff. Hey, Jun, can you say that again? Oh, no, Junpei, don't tell me you're like that. Eh? Say it again. It's really hard. Again? It's really hard. Thanks. Something wrong, Junpei? Your face is bright red. I don't appreciate it. It's like kind of funny, but it's also just kind of like a tacky gag in my opinion. Nothing, I'm fine. If it's that hard, you can probably use it as a hammer. Yeah, good point. Maybe we could use it to break something. We can search it, I guess, but Junpei-kun, it's really hard. It's like a hammer. Maybe we can use this to crush something. Okay, I think they made what we need to do with that abundantly clear. I don't know exactly what we're crushing at the moment, but... do we have a container of some sort? Maybe if we were to, use this on the cover, we could, like, break it. We could try... There's water dripping from this pipe. Looks like when the pipe burst, the water hit the doorknob and froze it in place. This water actually seems almost warm. Question is, what are we gonna be hammering with this? Maybe I don't even need it now. This is a question. What container could I put this in? Right? It would need to be some sort of sealed container, I guess. I'll equip this and maybe put it under the warm water. Hopefully melt it, thaw it a little bit. There's warm water flowing from the pipe. Can I not? Okay, doesn't seem so. Alright, so it looks like there's something else I gotta find. I'd imagine at least. What's the sealed container gonna be? Is there something up here? What's that? No. Shelves are covered with frozen food, nothing special. And it really seems like there's nothing there. What's this down here? There we go. A sturdy rope. Okay. What's this? There's so much stuff in here. Why don't we take some of it out, Junpei-kun? Yeah, sounds good to me. That's what I was trying to do. So we got ourselves a water bottle. Is it empty or what? Water bottle. Yes, it is. Okay. Anything else? There isn't anything else here that looks useful. Alright, thanks. Thanks, game. Appreciate you letting me know. Alright, so let's do some combining with the dry ice. What? Shouldn't I be able to, put this in there? Alright, well, I guess I can't do that. What else? Can I open it? The neck is pretty small. I don't think I could fit anything very big in there. Ah, I see. I see the problem. So I obviously have my container. The question is I need to unseal it and then reseal it, I'd imagine. So, how are we going to want to do that? Let's start by combining it with maybe the knife. See if we can, like, cut it open or something. Oh, or no, wait a minute. We have a hammer, potentially. This could be interesting. What? Oh, well, alright, I guess. What do we want to do with the sturdy rope? What do we want to do with that? I feel like the knife is not meant to be used in here. So realistically speaking, we're just working with these 5 items on the left. I want to be able to get that, but again, I think it might be just necessary for when we thaw things outside, maybe? As far as, like, the rope goes, what would we use the rope for, right? Let's start off by putting the dry ice into the water bottle. Yeah, I got you. But the dry ice is too big. Well, you gotta figure out a way to make it smaller then, don't you, genius? I mean, like, we could try to cut it up, but I don't even know if we can open the water bottle yet, right? Or no, wait. Wrong item. Oh, wait. We're not supposed to be able to use the... what's it called? the knife in here, I'd imagine. So we can use this to maybe grind it up into like smaller cubes or something. Alright, the dry ice is all in pieces now. Dry ice crumbled. Now can we place it in the water bottle? I'm gonna put these pieces of dry ice into the water bottle. Water bottle with dry ice in it. Cool. I think we should be good then. So let's use it on the warm water and then we should be good, right? Not yet, Junpei. We're not gonna get the result we want unless you can hook that bottle to the doorknob somehow. Okay, it's gotta explode right next to the ice on the doorknob. We need to figure out a way to attach the bottle to the doorknob. I wonder, guys, can we use the rope on the doorknob? There's ice surrounding the doorknob. No, I'm probably gonna have to combine it, make a attachable dry ice bomb. And let's just tie a rope on here. Water rope, or water bottle bomb. Wow, that's pretty clever. Alright, let's give it a go.
ドライアイスの詰め込まれたペットボトルにこの水を注いで
Put water into the bottle with dry ice.
しっかりと蓋を閉める
And make sure the lid's closed.
そして完成したペットボトル爆弾をドアノブにぐるぐるとくくりつけてやれば
Now I just have to put this makeshift bomb under the doorknob.
準備完了だ
Alright, that's set.
あとはどうすりゃいいんだっけ
So, what do we do now?
衝撃を加えるんだよ。
We just need to give it a little, tap.
すでにボトルはパンパンに膨れ上がってる。
The bottle's already about to
小
pop.
石でもぶつけてやりゃ勝手にドカンだ。
If we just throw a rock or something at it, it'll go off all on its own.
小石か
A small rock, a small rock.
よしこれでいこ
Alright, this ought to do the trick.
なるほど、ドライアイスか。それならいけそうだな。
Ah, some dry ice, huh? Not a bad
う
idea.
危ないから離れてろどこか物陰にでも隠れてるんだ
Agreed. Alright, guys, stand back. Actually, we should probably hide somewhere. I also would advocate for going to the door and telling Lotus to stand back from the door because there's going to be an explosion.
物陰って言われてもな。
Where exactly do you expect us to hide, genius?
身を潜められそうなところはどこにも。
There isn't really anywhere big enough. I mean, you can at least get farther away.
あんだろうが
Yeah, there is. I mean, I would not want to go in here.
ほらここだよこの中だ
Look, right here. We can hide in there. I would not want to go in there.
早くこの中に
Come on, get inside, quick. I mean, I guess it works, but
行くぞ
after already just accidentally going in someplace and getting trapped in there, the last thing I think I'd want to do is go into there and potentially get trapped in there. Regardless, alright, here I go.
よ5
増えてます。
You're counting the wrong
間
way.
違えた
Ah!
たくいつの時代のコントだよ。
That is a really sad excuse for a joke,
さあ
man.
さ
Sorry, dude.
今度こそ本気で行くからな
Alright,
準備はいいか
for real this time. You guys ready?
いつでも OK です。
Yes, whenever you're ready.
いいからさっさと投げろよ。
Just throw the thing already.
それじゃあ行くぞ
Alright, here I go.
3 2 1
Kaboom!
純平
Given the
君
music
ついてた
stopped.
氷が
Given the danger music stopped, I think we're in the clear. Junpei-kun, the ice on the door, is it gone?
あなくなってるな
Yeah, it's gone. Now hurry up and open that door before it gets back on there.
爆発の衝撃で砕け散ったんだ。
The blast must have shattered it.
よし開けてみよう
Yes. Alright, let's see if it opens. Woo! We live in. Hooray! We're out!
どけ
Move!
あっち熱すぎなんだよ、バカ野郎
Ow! Darn it! Hot, 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 hot!
そりゃ焼くためのものだしな
Well,
暖を取るためのものじゃない
you did just grab the grill. What did you think would happen?
そういえばヤシロはどこだ
Hey, where's Lotus?
おかえりなさい。待ちくたびれちゃった。
Welcome back. I was starting to get tired of waiting for you guys. Just not acting stressed about the situation at all.
何してたんだよ
What were you doing?
何って。待ってたんだけど。
What do you mean, what was I doing? I was waiting.
死ぬところだったんだぞ
We were gonna die!
そう
Oh yeah?
でも死んでないじゃない。よかったよかった。
But you didn't, so everything worked out alright, didn't it? What the heck?
冗談よ。こう見えても心配してたんだからね。
Just kidding. Might not look like it, but I was really worried. Oh! Something I should do now, because I now see the option for it, is a lot of you guys have mentioned to try the novel screen as a means of getting a little bit more detail. It might not be as pretty, but I figured something might be helpful just to give it a go at the very least. It was not as immediately visual appealing as it had been, but yeah, we'll give it a go. Alright, Lotus says, just kidding and everything.
嘘つけ
Don't give me that crap.
嘘じゃないわよ。
I'm telling the
あなたたちに
truth.
死なれたら困るもの。
I mean, if you died, then I'd be in trouble too.
私もここに閉じ込められたまま。結局はオーダー物でしょ
If you died, then I'd be stuck here, and I'd die too. See?
できる限りのこ
It's
と
a
はやった
reasonable argument. I did all I could.
何か扉をこじ開けられそうなものはないかって探したりもした。
I did all I could. I even looked around to see if there was anything I could use to pry open the
だ
door.
けどなかったの。
But I
見
couldn't
つから
find
なかったの
anything.
よ。だったらもう待つしかないでしょ
So all I could do was wait.
それとも何
Makes sense.
119番に電話でもかけてればよかったのかしら
I mean, it's like, it's important to be able to, you know, identify your own limits, your own bounds, right? And if you can't exceed them, then don't try, right? I mean, what else did you want me to do? Call the cops? It was true that there wasn't much he could have done, but something about her tone. Junpei gritted his teeth. So this is the kind of detail that comes with novel.
そうか
Fine.
だが一つだけ確かめておきたいことがある
But there's one thing I have to ask you.
何
What's that?
扉を閉めたのはお前じゃないよな
You didn't close the door, did you?
ちょっとやめてよ。疑ってるわけ
Well, what? You think I closed the door on you?
私がそんなことするわけないじゃない。
Why would I do something like
扉は勝手に閉
that?
まったの。
It closed on its own.
さっきも言ったけど、あなたたちに死なれたら私だって困るんだから。
I told you before, if you die, then I die too.
まあそうだよな
Yeah, I guess so. Oh man, the doubting, the suspense? No. I feel like there's a word I'm just completely not equipped with at the moment, but they're suspecting each other, they're doubting each other, at least a little bit. The seeds are there. I'm sure they'll grow as the tension does too. It seemed that an accident was the only explanation for the door's closure.
もしもヤシロが俺たちを殺そうとしていたのなら扉の外から缶抜きをかければいいだけだ
If she had really wanted to kill us, all she had to do was bar the door from the outside.
彼女はそれをしなかった
But she didn't. Well, she didn't do anything.
少なくとも明確な殺意があったわけじゃないとも言える
She's only lazy, or negligent at least, not an attempted murderer. I don't think I'd go so far as to say lazy or negligent. I would at least advocate for continuing to try to find some means of, you know, getting them out, but I wouldn't say what she did was unreasonable. Junpei swallowed his anger and did his best to apologize.
悪かったな疑ったりして
Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I doubted you.
あうん。まあ、分かってもらえればそれでいいんだけどさ。
Oh, yes, well, that's alright. As long as you understand. Lotus looked away and twirled her hair between her fingertips. His vengeance against the grill complete, Santa swaggered back toward Junpei and Lotus.
おい、お前らいつまでくっちゃべってんだよ。
Hey, no more screwing around, you two.
休み時間はこれで終わりだ。
Break time's over.
特にそっちの女はさっきからずっと休みっぱなしだしな。
Especially for you, lady. You've just been sitting around while we were freezing to death.
失礼ね。私だっていろいろと。
How rude. I was plenty busy.
いいから口の前に手と足を動かせ。捜索再開だ。
Yeah, how would you put all that energy into something besides complaining? Let's go. Wow. Tensions rise, right? Alright, so I believe we've made it out of there with everything we have. Before we got trapped in there, I believe what we were going to do was go back over here and use the knife, potentially, to pry this open, maybe? The drawer seems to be stuck. It won't open at all. How about this door? This is apparently the area where you put the coal. It's sealed shut. We can't get it open. Alright, well, as far as other items we can go, we can try and melt the pork here. Guess I'll put the meat on the grill. Hey, what are you doing? What are you going to do if the paper burns? Come on, it'll be fine. I mean, it's not like it's gonna burn right away, right? Just gotta keep an eye on it, and the paper will be fine. Makes a valid point. Well, they can argue all they want. I'm gonna keep an eye on this pork. Cool, looks like it's about time. I'm gonna try taking the paper out. Certainly wouldn't need it though. Definitely too rare for me. I'm a fan of some well-done meats. Lizzie gives me crap for it all the time. Junpei-kun, be careful. Sweet of her to care, but I know what I'm... Ouch! See? I told you. Called out. Hey, what the heck are you doing? Hurry up and take the paper out! It's not coming out. This thing's frozen stiff. I can't get it out. So are we going to have to cut the meat? Yeah, it looks that way. Alrighty then. If only I had something to cut the meat with. Alright, now that I've sharpened the knife. Yes, I cut the pork. Awesome, Junpei. Now we can cut out the paper. C plus 10 plus F. So that should be 12 plus... Oh, I guess if this is a hexadecimal number, that would technically be 16, the 10 in the middle, right? So it would be 12 plus 16 plus 15, which would be, what, 43, I think? Now, is it going to let us try and enter these numbers? This is probably what you're supposed to use to enter the password. Maybe if we put in the right number, it'll open the oven. Junpei, maybe the note you found earlier. Yeah, I know. Do you know how to enter those numbers? I think E is for enter and C is for clearing. So basically when I'm ready to submit my answer, I press E. I appreciate the tutorial aspect for players that might not be comfortable that I get it. So if I screw up, I just press C, right? Lotus nodded. Alright, let's give it a shot. Cool. 4, 3. Hey, there we go. Sounds like metal is falling. Well, I guess that went well. Cool, let's open it up now. What is this? Yeah, the door opened. Good job, Junpei-kun. We're so smart, guys. The Saturn key card. Ooh, that's pretty cool. Anything else in here? This plate must be for putting stuff in the oven. All right, well, I think we're good then. Yes, and I think it's unlocked now. You did it, Junpei-kun. Let's get out of here. Out we go, I guess. Yes, let's go. Ooh, that sound effect. So clean. You found it. Pat self on back. That was a fun one. I enjoyed it. I think we've been here before. Yeah, I mean, we're on the other side of the metal grate, right? I think I'll stick with novel. I'm surprised with how little the text seems to be interfering with the visuals, and I'm glad that the sprites still show up on the novel screen. So I'm happy to stick with this for a little bit and see if I continue liking it. Because just like, between the two of them, I don't know if I appreciate the blue filter in its entirety, but I appreciate mostly that the sprites still show up on screen, the animations still happen in novel mode, and for me that's good enough. And we get extra detail this way. I apologize for those that might have been frustrated with novel mode not being present in the first few episodes. I'm new to the game, and I wanted to try what was most intuitively appealing at the moment. And thanks for understanding, is honestly all I can really say. Hopefully I didn't miss too much from the details that were given in novel mode as opposed to adventure mode. If there was anything huge, I'll ask a couple people in the HeroNet, the Discord, what those might have been. But regardless, let's progress. A metal grate stretched from wall to wall. Beyond it were 2 elevators and the entrance to the kitchen.
エレベーターがあっちにあるってことは。
The elevators are over there, so that
あっ
means
ちのドアから厨房に入ってこっちのドアから出てきたってことみたいだな。
we went into the kitchen through that door and came out on this side.
やっぱり船内マップは正しかったんですね。
That means the map was
み
right.
たいだな。
Looks like.
それじゃあそのマップを使って作戦会議でもするか。
Then let's use it to plan our next move.
作戦会議
Next move?
ああこの先の進路を決めるためには必要だろ
when we need to decide where to go from here, don't we?
そうだな。ちゃちゃっとやっちまおう。
He's right. Let's get started.
見たところ
Interesting.
ルートは4つ考えられるな。
From the looks of it, there are 4 possible routes. Wow, 4 of them.
仮にこれらを ABCD としよ
Okay. Let's just keep it simple and call them A, B, C, and D.
う。まずは A と B についてだが
First, A and B, entering the same room, just different
A と B
entrances.
は両方とも L 字型の部屋につながっているようですね。
They both seem to connect to a room that looks L-shaped.
ああ。だがその2枚の扉は
Yeah, there were 2 doors.
両方とも鍵がかかってて開かなかった。
But they were both locked and we couldn't open them. Okay, so that cuts off those routes.
次に C 方向の通路だが
Now Route C.
大階段の方に伸びてるな。
This goes all the way to the main staircase.
例のナンバリングドア5の扉の方か。
That means it's door 5, one of the numbered doors. Oh, really? Interesting. That's reasonable,
別れた他の
though.
4人はこの通路の先に
Then do you think we would meet up with the other 4 after this hallway? Actually, yeah. That would be
Yeah.
really interesting.
多分もういないと思うわ
No, I don't think we will. I mean, she said basically that she doesn't think they're, still here. They probably moved on at this point. Why not?
見て階段の方ゲートが開いてるでしょ
Look, there, by the stairs. See how the gate is opened?
さっき厨房に入る前に見た時には閉まってたはず
When we went in the kitchen, it was
だけど
closed.
今は開いてるということは
But it's open now. What do you think that means? One, they're still alive,
あの
most
4人
importantly.
が開いたってことか。
They opened it.
多分ね
Most likely.
どっちにしろ C 方向に進めば後戻りだ。
Then if we take Route C, we're going backwards.
あまり意味がありませんね。
That would be pointless. Agreed.
ことは
Then that means all that's left is D. All 4 looked at the map. Looks like we're following them downstairs. They all looked at the staircase, its lazy curve leading down, deeper into the ship.
D ね
Route D, then.
D だな。
D it is.
D ですね。
Yep, Route D. They all look, well, June looks like really serious, but the other characters look, I guess, normal.
決まりだ。
Then we're set. They jog down the stairs until they reach the C deck.
C デッキか。
Everything looks okay
特
here.
に異常はなさそうだな。
念のためもう一つ下のフロアも確かめてみようぜ。
Let's check the next deck just to be sure.
やっぱりか。D デッキは完全に水没しちまってるんだな。
Yep, just like I thought. D deck is totally underwater.
あの大階段の下と同じですね。
Just like the bottom of the central staircase. The water gazed back at them, its smooth surface like a great mirror.
水位がさほど変わっていないのが唯一の救いだな。
At least the water level hasn't really changed.
そうね
Small comfort.
そんじゃとりあえず C デッキに
I
戻
guess
る
it's
か。
like maybe some sort of credibility to Zero's word. May as well head back to C deck.
さてと、ここには何があるのかなと。
What else is here? 2
階段
elevators.
の正面にエレベーターがありますね。
There are 2 elevators over there at the top of the stairs. Oh, just like the floor above.
いや上のやつとは微妙に違うみたいだぞ。
Hold on, these are kind of different. They look a bit darker,
Hold on.
right?
扉の間にカードリーダーが設置されてる。
See, there's a card reader on the side. Ah, as opposed to the 2 green buttons.
またこの妙なマーク
I would guess Venus? Another strange
これ
mark.
はヤシロのマークだな。
Hey, look, it's Lotus's symbol.
は
Huh?
メスのマークに鬼のような角が生えてる。だから
See, it's the woman symbol with horns on it. That seems like an invitation for a slap. Lotus had taken hold of Junpei's hair. She began to shake him violently, and he thought he heard a low growl coming from her throat.
それでマークが何ですって
What was that about the mark again? Lotus is such a great character.
なんでもないです。
Nothing. That's really funny. Such violence. Junpei began to wonder if she was not the devil itself. With an uncomfortable smile, June spoke up.
これは水星のマークですよ。
Darn. I thought like Venus. Venus is the one that has throughout history, at least from my understanding, been considered like an icon of like sexuality and beauty, maybe, potentially? I don't know. Regardless, June is on point with these, so this is a Mercury
角
symbol.
のように見えるのはヘルメスの杖の翼を模したものです。
The horns symbolize the wings on Hermes' staff.
ヘルメスだかヘルペスだか知らねえが
Hermes, herpes, whatever. What a line, guys. What a line. I feel like that's just like such great meme material, right? Like, just some character with Hermes, herpes, whatever.
とにかくこの装置を何とかしない限りエレベーターは動きそうにねえな
If we can't get this thing to work, these elevators aren't going anywhere.
つまり水星のマークが記されたカードキーが必要ってことね
In other words, we need a key card with the Mercury symbol on
多
it.
分そういうことだろ
Probably.
ましょうがないわねエレベーターは諦めましょう
I guess we can't get on then. Let's just disregard the elevators for
こ
now.
っちの左側の通路はどうなんだ？
How about this hallway on the left? That's a long hallway.
ああ、扉だらけですね。
Whoa, there are so many doors. They weren't sure how many, but certainly enough to be discouraging.
おいおいこんなもんいちいち調べてたら日が暮れちまうぜ
Darn it, if we try and search all these, the sun's gonna go down before we've done half of them.
日はもう暮れてると思いますけど。
I think the sun already set. Yeah, it's gotta be close to 11 8 or 11 p.m.
沈むとした
now.
ら太陽じゃなくて船の方だろうな。
I have a feeling this ship is the only thing that's going to be going down
だ
anytime
ったら
soon.
なおさらやばいだろうが
That's even worse.
とりあえずこっちの通路は後回しね
Well, we can come back to this hallway
そ
later.
の前に反対側を調べてみましょう
Let's check the hallway on the other side, shall we? Or you guys could split up,
それじゃ
right?
あ来た道を引き返すか。
Time to head back to the stairs. To the right was a small hallway.
今度は右側に行ってみるか
And now the right hallway. Quickly, they headed into it. Huh. What do we got going on here? It was approximately the same size as the alcove in front of the stairs. The hallway led toward the stern, and at its end was a set of double
こ
doors.
こも扉か。
There are doors here too.
4枚だけならさっきよりははるかに増したが。
Well, I guess it's just 4 this time.
開けてみましょう
Let's open them. How about you guys look at the map first?
よし。そこの一番近いところから行ってみるか。
Alright, let's start with this one. Although the map might have been just for the previous floor. B deck, right? Junpei nodded and grabbed the one closest to him. Let's see what we got going in. He gave it a small tug and felt it move.
鍵はかかってないな。
Huh. It isn't locked.
行くぞ。
I'm gonna open it. Thrilled to have found an unlocked door, he threw it open. Only to find... Oh man. We're getting trapped. We're getting trapped, boys! Junpei didn't know what to make of what he saw.
No.
What? What are all these beds for, first of all? That is very odd. Makes it sound like for some illness or something, but... Or like infirmary, maybe? I don't know. He simply stood, unable to speak, but was that a 3, a 7, and an 8? The others simply stared, open-mouthed. After a few long moments, Santa managed to speak.
おい一体何なんだここは
What the heck is this?
このだだっ広い空間はよ
This place is huge. A massive room stretched out in front of them. More a cavern than a room. Its vastness was oppressive, and it bore down on the 4 companions. It was not empty, however. The entire room was filled with lines upon lines of beds.
端から端までびっしりと。
There were beds
す
everywhere.
ごい数のベッドだな。
They were simple things, little more than pipe and thin mattresses.
病室でしょうか。
Is this a hospital? He had at last been able to put a name to the harsh scent that pervaded the room.
確かに 消毒液の匂いがするわね。
It definitely has the smell.
そうかもな。薬品やら医療器具の置かれた棚もあるし。
Could be. I see medicine cabinets and surgical tools.
いや、それよりも奥の壁にあるあの4枚の扉。
Hey, look there. The 4 doors at the end are numbered. Oh, except for one of them. 3 of them were emblazoned with large single-digit numbers made with thick red paint.
左端の扉には3。
The left door says 3.
一つ飛ばして左から3番目の扉には7。
The second door is blank, but the third has a 7.
そして一番右側の扉には8。
And the rightmost door is 8.
間違いない。ナンバリングドアだ。
There's no doubt. They're numbered doors.
なあ、3と7の間の扉にだけ何も書かれていないみたいだが。
Why is the second door
こい
blank?
つは一体何を意味してるんだ？
That seems kind of strange, don't you think? Yeah, I agree 100%.
考えてもわかんねえ。今はとにかく扉を調べてみよ
No point worrying about it right now. Let's see if these will open first.
ええ、そうね。
Yes, that sounds like a good plan. Junpei headed toward the doors, weaving his way between the beds. He started with door 3 on the left and moved to the right until he reached door 8. As to be expected. What about this one? Oh, that one's locked too. That's the only one I was actually, somewhat unsure of.
やっぱりダメですね。
It's no use.
そりゃそうよ。
Well, of
あっ
course.
さり開いちゃったらのなりゲームが成立しなくなるもの。
If it was that easy to open these doors, what would be the point of the nonary
レッド
game?
で認証しない限り、ナンバリングドアは。
We have to activate the red, or the numbered doors won't open.
あれ？
Wait a minute. Yeah, now she's getting the realization that, well, as the group they are now, all 4 of them, their digital root is 4. So they won't actually be able to enter one of these doors as all 4 of them. And in fact, they're not able to split into groups of 2 either. So there's going to have to be a group of 3 that goes through one of these doors, and one person is going to get left behind. And that one person is going to be different for each of these doors.
う。どうしたんだ？
What's wrong?
見てよ。レッドの表示板のところ。
Look,
サインが出てないわ。
the display on the red. There's nothing on it.
サイン？
Huh?
ほら、大階段のところのレッドには出てたじゃない？
Don't you remember the red at the central staircase?
誰も入ってない時には、ベイケントって。
If no one was inside, it said vacant.
ああ、そういえば確かに。
Does that mean it's already been cleared then? Potentially? Oh yeah, you're right.
でも今は。
But this one,
何も表示されてませんね。
there's nothing on
で
it,
しょ？
right?
ぶっ壊れてんのかな？
I wonder if it's broken.
試してみよ
Only one would find out. But it's still locked.
無反応だな。
It's not responding. All 4 took turns placing their hands over the red, but it refused to respond. They pulled at the lever, and still it did nothing. As they soon discovered, it wasn't only the red for door 8 that was behaving strangely.
う。7の扉のレッドも
How about the red on door 7?
3の扉のレッドもか。
And door 3?
全部同じように機能していないなんて。
None of them are working.
こいつは一体どういうことだよ。
What does it mean? Yeah, that's a good question.
やっぱりだ。ぶっ壊れてんだよ。
I knew it. They're broken.
ゼロの野郎のメンテナンス不足だな。
Zero sure sucks at maintenance. I highly doubt that's
な
the
バカ
case.
な。ありえないわ。
No, that's impossible.
ここまで用意周到に準備してきたゼロが。
You really think Zero, who prepared all of
こ
this,
んな初歩的なところでミスを犯すと思う？
would make such a stupid, simple mistake?
だって動かねえもんは動かねえんだしさ。
Maybe, but that doesn't explain why this thing ain't working. It was at that moment that they heard a voice from behind them. Huh?
基板が抜き取られてるみたいだよ。
I believe the bottom of the device has been removed. Interesting. Good to see you again, Snake, though. They spun around to see...
ニルス
Snake! But it was more than just Snake. Okay. Is everybody there?
1
Alright. Whew.
4つは
Everybody's still living.
7も
We're good for now. Ace, Clover, 7. Although they were glad to see one another, it wasn't terribly surprising that they had. If it had been the other party who'd opened the gate in front of the kitchen, it wasn't unreasonable that they'd bump into one another eventually. The rest of Snake's team, however, did look rather surprised.
どうして？
How
なんでお前らが
how did you guys
こんなところに
how did you end up here?
それはこっちが聞きたいぜ。
That's my line.
ではお互い情報交換といこうか
Perhaps we should exchange information. I think it's a good plan. After a moment of silence and surprise, everyone suddenly began to talk, desperate to exchange information. They talked about the rooms they'd been through and how they'd ended up in the same place. Of course, none of it was very useful information, but that hardly mattered. They were happy to simply see one another again. Although the level of cheer varied greatly from person to person, each of them was wearing some manner of smile. Almost as though they'd already forgotten about the death of the ninth man. No, thought Junpei, perhaps that wasn't it. Perhaps thoughts of his death were what drove them to smile at one another. Not in a morbid or hateful way, no. The ninth man had died. But they were still alive, and that was something to be happy about. A sort of simple, uncomplicated joy, Junpei thought. The joy of being alive. Still alive. He felt sorry for the ninth man, but more than anything, Junpei was just happy to be alive. I think it's a very reasonable way to feel at this point in time.
というわけなんだ
There you have it, our half of the story. His part finished, Ace fell silent. And I think with that, this episode is going to finish as well. So we are going to continue hanging out with the other 4 members of, well, the remaining 8 members on this ship, and potentially go through one of these doors in the next episode. Snake was saying that he believes the bottom part of the machine is missing, so we probably need to search other aspects of the ship in order to find them to complete the reds for these doors, and then decide how we want to split up into groups in order to make our way through these doors, and that will be our next big task, it seems. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It was really fun breaking out of the frozen place and then finishing up the room in the kitchen, and I'm glad we got to meet up with everyone. I'm glad nobody's died yet, right? Because I'm pretty sure that's going to happen at some point. It's just kind of the nature of the game, I'd imagine. But what other thing is there to say? I guess in closing, I'm liking novel mode. I appreciate the extra detail. The narration as well is really nice. Let me know if you guys like it more or less. Either way, I think the game has been very enjoyable thus far, despite being in the adventure screen mode. And I think it's very enjoyable in the novel screen mode as well. So hopefully it's not a deal breaker for anybody, and just is a preference at the end of the day, much like the voice acting as well. So anyways, I'll see you guys in the next episode, but until then, this has been Night Zero, and this mission is complete.